What would make you more interested in Canadian politics?
I don't know if I could be more interested. I'm pretty much a political guy, so I follow it quite closely, and I think it's really important. And I think people mistakenly think that politics is voting once every 4 years. And being politically astute is watching the politicians the rest of the time.
If I felt that the politicians were coming from a place of truth and honesty and not about being self-serving for themselves or their families or their friends in higher places, that their interest genuinely is the betterment of the people of this country.
More engaged, yeah. Like O'Toole, I don't really even know anything about him. I haven't really heard anything, since he's got in, so I don't even know what kind of person he is because I really haven't heard much. So, something just to have a leader to be excited about.
Public engagement. I think that, especially with COVID and what's happening right now, we're very focused on the pandemic, and I have no idea what's happening in politics. No idea. And I vote, but right now I have no idea what's going on.
Politicians that don't worry as much about getting reelected and actually doing a proper job.
I think right now the country needs to be unified, and any bickering between political parties just makes people not interested in politics. So they're just not engaging the people versus too busy battling with each other. So I think if they would actually engage people with what people are looking for, especially after this pandemic, it would probably be more useful.
I don't feel proud anymore. I don't feel like a Canadian anymore. And I can't recommend anybody to vote for. I really can't.
Seeing more representation in the issues I care about, it feels like the major two political parties don't represent my interests at all, so I just feel like I don't have a voice or a say in these elections.
People being honest and people trying to find solutions to some very serious problems that we're all facing, and my sense is that there's a kind of a situation where the opposition is the opposition. It doesn't matter what the issue is, they have to be opposed to it, as opposed to finding a common ground and trying to find a solution that's better for everybody.
It's like no matter what I want or like what I vote for, it doesn't matter because politicians are powerful. They're beholden to their donors, and why would they care what I think, So it's really hard to be interested if you feel powerless, and that's just kind of it.
If I found somebody that I felt I really related to, I suppose, but I don't necessarily feel that happening. And I think if it was more based on a solid platform that I felt what people's policies were as opposed to just attacking each other, I think that would make me more interested. And if they just did a better job of talking about platforms and what they really mean as opposed to just pointing fingers at other people for doing wrong things, that would make me more interested. Yeah.
I really think, I agree with her 100%. It's really difficult to just hone in on what the actual issues are and what they're going to do about them.
I remember the Trudeau era. We lived near Ottawa, and you heard the term grassroots politics was a common thing you heard, and it seemed to have real meaning, And now I just think it's just another word like that you see on the internet all the time. I don't think people really has a meaning anymore. It's just a word that they throw, and if it sticks, they use it. But real grassroots politics to me would be the number one thing that I'd look for. And that's why I'm not interested in politics, to be honest, anymore, because it doesn't talk to me as a person.
That's a good question, because growing up, I haven't been really interested in politics as much, but I think if they really engage the younger population, the Gen Z, the millennials, in a way that makes politics more attractive, I think that would be a way to get a more young generation to be involved in politics. And just like understanding the impact it would make, long term with what the government does, yeah.
More interested, I guess, maybe if the West had more of a say kind of thing, because right now, we're obviously a completely conservative province and it doesn't really matter, right? So, it'd be nice if, I don't know how it would happen, but if the West had more of a say or something like that would make us more interesting. Because right now it's like we're solid conservative. There's no chance for any other party to win, and it still doesn't matter. So that's probably the big thing holding the prairies back.
So what would make me more interested would be, like he said it earlier, getting more involved with the community, as well as like I don't know, maybe promoting it a little bit more too, like especially making like our generation, which is like a younger generation, more involved. Like I think that's sort of what they need to do. And as far as the environment as well, I think we need to have a stronger plan on what we need to do moving forward in order to help fight this climate change battle.
I think having just more youth representation in general, it seems to me that as a young person, as a 29-year-old, looking at a lot of the folks in politics, I mean, if you look at our, even provincially, youngest person in the legislature in Victoria is 35 years old. They're actually a contemporary of mine who I know. And I think we need more young folk standing up, not just for the planet, but for issues that matter to them, you know.
Quality. Politicians are low quality. So you can't expect a bar to be this high for this country when our politicians are here. I'm not running.